Now, as y'all know, y'all been tapping in with Bungie Marathon. I used to play Destiny a lot, so and Halo. So I am tapped in with Bungie and what they got going on. Even though I stopped playing Destiny 2 this year. Marathon was looking interesting. Then they dropped a little beta shit, and then everybody was saying it was ass. They were shitting on it, and then Arc Raiders came, and everybody loved Arc Raiders, and Arc Raiders kind of took over the extraction shooter scene. So Bungie was like, "Yeah, let's let Arc Raiders have their shine and push our shit back." So hopefully, it was the right call, and it's promising. We'll see.
Players want more.
All right, hold on. Let me tighten up on this quality.
Challenge. The whole point of an extraction shooter is that you're challenged to even survive in this world.
We heard loud and clear from the alpha.
Okay,
the world didn't feel dangerous. The world didn't feel lived in.
Tau said before to us is this place that really doesn't.
Don't think about Bungie. They're gonna have some nice graphics.
Survival narrative really fits.
They're gonna have some hard ass graphics.
The world needs to feel like there is something sinister underneath the surface, even when the colors are really bright.
You should not be here.
We want to marry the classic Bungie game feel, where you are blasting stuff in the face and it feels amazing, with the sort of high tension of the survival genre.
If you want good loot, you have to go to places where you're taking risks, either risks from other players or risks from AI.
So we have all these tools now with Prox Chat and the way the game works and sort of how tense it is. I think all those things work together really well.
We have another rook. Oh, stop that. No. Sorry.
Ah, they got the proximity chat. You know why they added that. And it starts with an A. You know why they added that. But this is why I'm sure they pushed it back as well. You get to see what your competition is offering. You get to see what the competition is bringing to the table and what the people like and don't like from it. We all know Arc Raiders is successful. We all know Arc Raiders won the damn multiplayer game of the year or whatever. Whatever. They won the damn award. So, Bungie sitting back, they're looking at that. This is the game that we need to study. This is the game that we need to observe and see the positives and negatives and adjust our game accordingly. And that's exactly what they're doing, because I don't think the beta had proximity chat. I don't think they wanted to put proximity chat in the game or something like that. And that had pissed fans off. So now they're showing it in the game. Why? Because it was a popular feature in Arc Raiders. And it really has, made the game in a sense. The interactions and the clips and the moments and the funny moments and all that. Because a lot of it is due to the proximity chat. So Bungie would be a fool not to incorporate that. Arc Raiders might have made Marathon
essentially a ship that
better.
was sent out from Earth, an Earth that was overpopulated, to explore and colonize a star far away.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna shut the fuck up, because I don't like when people keep pausing the video. Just real quick, this is big for Bungie, and what I mean by that is, this is like, if they fail here, they might be cooked. Okay, they might be cooked. It might be over for them. They have to nail this shit. If they don't nail this shit, you know what I'm saying? A lot is riding on this. They gotta cook here. Failing is not an option. Because let's keep it a stack. Destiny 2 is not what it used to be, and it's not what D1 used to be, and players are dropping that shit like I don't know what. So
in a lot of ways, it's like
they gotta
humanity trying to go out into the dark void of space, find a place to colonize, and failing terribly at it.
Everyone's gone, something catastrophic happened, and it's not just their absence that's important, it's the things that they left behind.
The modern race to Tau Ceti all started when a mysterious signal came through the galaxy.
The turmoil that sort of ensues gives rise to all these corporations that were invested in this marathon project now going, what happened? How do we recoup our investment?
And then layered on top of that is the greed and corruption of all of the different factions and corporations and revolutionary groups.
In our version of the world, we send people out not just to discover what happened, but also to collect from the things that remain there, and those people are runners.
As a runner, you're a biocybernetic mercenary who's traded their human body for a biosynthetic one.
You're not an unkillable god slayer. You are a mercenary, a disposable mercenary. You will live, you will die.
They are not people. You are the person. You go into that shell and adopt the personality matrix that is specifically designed to help you do the thing that you need to do. And you've been hired.
What's up with Bungie and invisibility shit? Oh my god, that's gonna be so annoying, bro. They gotta throw invisibility in every game they do. You know how annoying that shit was in D2, bro? Going up against Invis Hunters, 3-stack, and Trials, and you got one more game to win to get the flawless, and then you lose back to back. You don't know the struggle. Facts.
By these factions to come to Tau Ceti to scavenge it for anything that might be of value.
As a runner, you've left your body behind. You've traveled light years so that you can have access to the ultimate payday.
With extraction shooters, it is all about survival. There are other people who want the same things that you want, and it's up to you to vest them.
But there's quiet periods where you're listening for the anticipation of something. Could there be another crew in the distance? Did I just hear a gunshot? Did I hear AI just alert?
I wonder how difficult this AI is going to be compared to Arc
And then
Raiders.
there's the loud, bombastic action moments.
The
where
Arc.
The minute something is alerted, the minute you're in that fight, now it's go time. Players particularly pose a lot of danger to you. They can make a lot of decisions that you might find illogical.
Oh my god, he just downed him like
completely
that.
trick you into scenarios. Sometimes the best loot box is another player that you see along the run. So there's a few different ways you can play the game. So one of them is you can play in crew, both with your friends and also through crew fill, which will just match you with other players. You can play solo, and you'll jump into a game with a bunch of other solo players.
In solo, I think the stakes are a bit higher, right? You have only yourself to rely on.
You still have proc strat, so you can call out to other solos, but you know, you are playing a tense alliance game where it's really up to them whether or not they decide to honor or respect that alliance you might have created.
It's all about figuring out what's...
One thing I hope is that it's really not like one shot kill weapons. One thing that I have struggled with in Arc Raiders is like the kill time, or like the key, like there's no like what's the word I'm looking for? To counter, like it's hard to counter. You know what I'm saying? Like when somebody just catches you slipping or something like that, or like you just saw dude change his mind, pop his ass down. I just hope it's not that easy to down somebody. You know what I mean? Like I feel like with Warzone, even though it's not, I know it's not an extraction shooter, still it's like that time to kill is it's not that bad. You know what I mean? Especially if there's some distance, you have some room to run away, replay, all that, even though it's probably not going to be like the same mechanics as far as healing up and stuff like that. It'll probably take longer. You know, let's say, what I'm trying to say is, if I'm with somebody, right, and it's a random, and in that scenario, we're cool, it's friendly, and then he decides to just turn his back on me and pop me. Is that it? I have no way of countering it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
What's your investment? What's your stake?
I hope
when
I
to
do.
get in, when to get out, and when to kill the other guy. Being good at marathon is like playing
But
poker with guns.
in an extraction shooter, probably not.
One of the things we've really focused on is making sure
I'm probably the one
environments
tripping
are
there.
selling the tone we want to hit with the game.
We've brought a little bit of groundedness, a little bit of grit, a little bit of darkness, a little bit of that mood that kind of is necessary for an extraction.
Bungie
shooter
gonna have
to
the
feel
graphics, and Bungie
dangerous.
gonna have the
Our biggest
gunplay.
goal has always been
Bungie has
player
always
immersion.
had smooth ass gunplay.
We're trying to keep everything as believable and realistic as possible.
So we cranked up all the material responses, feel accurate, feel realistic. You know, you'll get gloss, you'll get.
You really had to put the
crud and
pronouns.
mud. And no one of those things is all that sexy.
God.
But when you layer in just a little bit more, you know, responsive to light, a little bit more responsive to the player, things will part, water will pool. Layer in all these different things.
I don't know why, but this
the
looks
world becomes
way better
much more
than the
live.
shit
It
that we
feels
saw
like a real
before.
place. And then when you're feeling like a real place and you feel in danger,
Unless they're just showing
now
more
you're what
rendered visuals, you know what I'm saying?
I look back at some of the alpha shots, and it's kind of hard to tell when it's sunny or when it's rainy. Weather feels like weather now. But like when it's sunny, you get this really nice like bleaching effect. It feels bright. It feels like warm when it's sunny now. I feel like we're just celebrating that color so much more. I think it just contributes to the whole effect.
So we have dead bodies in the game now. We also have like decay on the runners themselves. Like you'll actually see them fall apart. We're actually dropping the body. The body stays there and the body slowly decays over time as you loot it.
So you come into a room and you see a bunch of carnage, but you see one body is still pristine, you know that their killer is probably close and you are not safe. If everybody is just a messy goop, you're probably okay.
Audio is a huge gameplay component in Marathon. Every sound plays a function. Footsteps tell players everything.
Yeah.
It's telling you what is the
Big
type
ass
of
Timbs
threat that's
and
around
art
you.
raiders,
Where are they
man.
at? Are they above you? Are they far away? Are they close by? So if I'm in bioresearch and I hear a particular material type, I know, hey, they're on the second floor and they're in this room. Our hero is the world. So we're constantly trying to figure out where can music help reinforce what is the vibe and intent of this place.
There was the discussion about the interaction between score and sound design. And I wanted to create a score that wasn't just like full of instruments you've heard before. The job was, how can I make what I'm seeing, this race to survival, even more nervous and even more terrifying and or even more thrilling.
Glasses are very unnecessary. Piss me off, okay?
We have 4 zones, and each one of those zones has its own sort of approach to kind of level design and what it asks players to kind of think about and do. You're going to start with perimeter. You're kind of on the outskirts of the colony. It's a little more spread out. You got a little bit more areas to be safe and to sneak around, but it's also a little more straightforward.
It really brings this sense of scale. It sits like in our fantasy as expansion site for the colony on the very edges of where they had settled on Tau Ceti. UESC are also there trying to understand what has happened and secure the area. Death is a part of Marathon. It happens a lot, even on perimeter, which we talk about as a more friendly zone to new runners. You are still gonna die a lot.
They letting you know off top. They ain't lying either.
Attention, unauthorized runner. You are trespassing in a military security zone.
It was really important to us that the UESC were not trivial to fight.
When you face them on Tau Ceti as a runner, you are the outlaw. You are trespassing.
They have a little bit of this haunted tone. So you can see they have this floating locomotion, they get these sparks, they have these sigils over their faces. Sometimes their behavior feels almost like they're possessed a little bit, like are they taking in commands from a remote AI? The elite tier is sort of like this dark blue. The mini boss tier is more like a lilac. The boss tier is just gonna be dipped in red.
They have these tendrils that latch out and leech onto you and start sucking away at your consciousness.
You're getting into Marsh, you're starting to understand something bad happened here, and you're seeing signs of that in a way that wasn't apparent on perimeter.
On Dire Marsh, we've got the anomaly. and it's this strange alien entity that has erupted up out of the ground.
You're really feeling signs that this is more of an epicenter of where things went wrong on this colony.
It's got a different style of gameplay. It's more like a central complex that is rich with overlapping areas and regions that
The gunplay
you can
looks
find
good.
yourself kind of bleeding from one encounter to another.
It's a great map to go in when you just want some action, and you're gonna need somewhere to farm.
Each map has different weather systems, it has different dynamic events that can happen, and your approach to them is never going to be consistent.
One of the needs that the design team thought that we should have is more challenging PvE activities.
Each of our zones has
Sure.
these bigger events that
So I was
don't
curious
happen every
about.
session, but when they do happen, you'll know they're happening.
Building these types of events into the world shake up your run and make you decide, like, what do you want to risk?
Then you get to Outpost.
Okay,
And
so they're just
Outpost
showing all the
is a
maps.
more functional, thriving UESC facility. There's scan drones flying overhead, the UESC's everywhere, there's tripwires, there's a weather hazards. It's a lot of stuff you're up against from the get-go.
Outpost is a smaller map, but it's also a lot more vertical. It's built around a specific building that we call the pinwheel.
This is just this meat grinder of a structure that's like a corkscrewed building that has nooks and crannies and hallways, and it just becomes a real, real cluster when you're in there fighting.
Okay, that was a heal.
The floor is raised on Outpost, and nothing is free.
Looks good. I mean, like I said, it looks a lot better than the shit they
The
showed us
pinwheel
before.
hosts some of the best loot opportunities.
I think I'd give it a shot.
But it's
Might-
noisy. Players are
might
going to know
cop
you're
it.
doing it, so there's extra risk.
Might drop a little bag.
The
See
character
what
you're
it's,
going to spend the most time with is
They're not gonna try it.
understanding each personality of every zone. That's the storytelling every player gets.
Every time you're on the planet, you can look up and see the ship floating and looming in the skybox, reminding you of why this place even exists, but also reminding you that something up happened here, and you got to figure out what it was.
Ain't nobody trying to figure that shit out. Niggas trying to go in there,
Marathon has a
loot
lot
up,
of loot in it.
and kill
It's a
other
huge
teams.
pie. There's a ton of different
Give it a
implants
star.
at every rarity. There's a ton of different runner cores for each runner. There's over 400 weapon mods. Like it's just an outlandish number of items to collect.
There's going to be a really interesting period of discoverability where players
I'm
sort
gonna
of
go back to
figure
that.
out what are the
Check that out. Want to look at the
Marathon has a lot of
menu.
loot in it. It's a huge pie. There's a
Or
ton
like
of different
the
implants at every
inventory, I
rarity.
mean.
There's a ton of different runner cores.
'cause this screen looks different from the other one.
For each runner, there's
Watch.
over 400 weapon mods. Like it's just an outlandish number of items to collect.
Yeah, look at all that. So loadout value 6.5K, vault value. Oh, okay, I got it. So that's the vault. It's like your stash, and that's your loadout. Okay, I get it now. There's weapons in there, ammo, heals. You got your backpack you take with you. Okay. Implants, cores, equipment, shield, purple shield. SMG, maybe, I guess those are attachments on it, yeah. Alright.
be a really interesting period of discoverability where players sort of figure out what are the pieces that I have available to me, how do I get them, and how do I put them together into something that's awesome.
I feel like visually it's very appealing, very colorful. Almost like you out there shooting Nerf guns and shit.
How many iconic weapons have come from Bungie, and it's something that we really want to hold up
It's like a
and
battle
make
rifle.
sure that we're matching that legacy.
VR vibes from that.
Visually, they're
Yeah,
all really,
that shit
really
looks
distinct
broken.
and clearly Marathon. But we wanted animation-wise, a majority of them to feel recognizable. So when you put them in your hands, you knew how to use them.
Mods will basically allow you to increase certain stats on the guns, that battery SMG. The gold mod full-blown turns it into the needle.
Oh shit.
The sidearm is a gun that
Tough.
is effective in close quarters, but maybe not too much outside of that. But the gold mod on this
Whoever
gun
that person was
puts a suppressor
absolute
on it,
trash.
and then when I kill something with this gun, I turn invisible. And then that lends it to other build
Yeah, some
crafting
Destiny
if
shit.
I want to sort of stack into how invisible can I be.
Even some
know.
weapon
I
mods
don't know.
can improve
I
stats
don't like shit
and
like
your
that.
runner shell's capabilities. So there's lots of different ways
There's a
to,
lot of Arc
to
Raiders, I
raise
give
the
them that. You
floor of
can't
your
go
stats
invisible
so
in
that
that
you're
motherfucker.
coming into each run strong.
That was hard. Oh, that was hard. Right, the teammates at the same time.
Runner
How the
shells
hell you
are
get that?
a bioprinted body that you inhabit when you go down to Tau Ceti to scavenge the ruins of the Lost Colony. Each of our launch shells is really an archetype of gameplay. So if you want to play like a frontline tank, if you want to play a rat character that wants to sneak around, if you want to find those rats, we have a shell for you.
Okay. Alright, I like they got something to combat the bullshit.
The idea there is like have a
Alright.
broad spectrum that everyone can kind of find a little bit of a home to, and then we're going to build on top of that.
Cores and implants mold the kit into a playstyle that you want.
So examples of those are like on Thief, I get a second grapple. On Destroyer, I pull out my Riot Barricade, and as it takes damage, it's actually converting that damage into shield back to me.
A little broken.
These can be used in combination with each other to shift the gameplay style of your runner kit.
At any point you feel like you don't want to risk anything, or maybe you're down on your luck and you want the opportunity to get back, Rook's your guy.
Rook is a prototype runner shell.
It's a mode where we make it easy for you to just kind of drop into a match that's in progress and run about and try to scavenge as much as possible.
You are going in solo to a run that's already in progress. You don't have a team, you have a very limited loadout, but you're not risking anything. This lets you kind of get in, grab a little bit of loot, and then bail.
So when you get like a really powerful
So that's a free
gun
loadout, pretty
or
much.
implant or core, it is unlocking some new space or new challenge that you've never done before, and the loot is helping you reach greater heights.
That's pretty much free loadout.
Faction agents are such a big vehicle for tone and narrative for the world.
Each faction has their own motivations, their own desires, the things they're going to ask you to do.
We've got Traxxas. They're the most powerful corporation in human history. They have very long arms and very deep pockets to kind of get what they want.
So they might ask you to go and find specific weapons or mods.
Congratulations, runner. Your last performance evaluation was rated on track.
If you're a PvP player, one of the factions is called Arachne. They're essentially a death cult. What that translates to is that they're asking you to go and kill other runners.
The sacred
You don't say.
Mida is all about destruction. They are going to give you grenades, they're going to give you claymores, they're going to let you blow the place up.
And they are irreverent and dangerous. They might ask you to upload this malware into a UESC dropship, and as it leaves, it explodes and careens off into the distance.
We have big plans. Explosive, visionary.
Each of our factions has an upgrade tree that you unlock progressively as you gain reputation with them.
And along the way, you're going to unlock these capstones that are these special upgrades. When you unlock that final capstone, you're gaining access to the best stuff.
So this is like the
You're
skill
getting
tree
gold
system.
items.
In addition, these faction upgrades can increase your runner's base stats, and those base stat upgrades are permanent for the rest of the season.
Access denied.
Darius, you know me. Did you miss your last round of maintenance?
Don't search. Don't dig. Don't question.
Darius?
Access denied. Access
Hey, it's
denied.
okay. It's just me.
You're not alone.
The Codex is a suite of achievements, collectibles,
we
audio
really didn't need
logs,
that.
things that you're finding in Run that we're going to track for you over time. The more you find these items, the more story you're unlocking about them and what their role is in the world, why they're here, who cared
Two
about
times
them,
burger.
why they're
Speaking
as
my language,
valuable as
man.
they are.
I'm repeating myself with these entries, but any fears inherent in the scope of this endeavor seem unfounded.
Within the Codex, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can unlock. Runner skins, weapon charms, stickers, emblems, backgrounds for your profile, and titles.
So it's everything
Like
from
just
your
recolors.
first steps on the world of Tau City 4, all the way through to becoming a vid master and taking on the most extreme challenges.
Cryo Archive.
The marathon ship is the hardest place to survive in this game. And if you're not ready to take your
Stella
best self,
Montes.
you're not going to survive.
Sorry, I keep making comparisons to Arc Raiders. I got you.
It's like a heist for a runner. Cryo Archive is big in and of itself, but it's also cold. It's also hostile.
It's going to test every aspect of the survival game. Probably going to be forced to run to players in ways you haven't been on other maps. You're going to run into basically every type of environmental threat you have faced before. You're going to fight a who's who of the highest tier UESC units, and the UESC are there in this presence you haven't seen before.
It's really cool because each of the vaults is more successively challenging than the next. And that 7th vault is where you both are going to get the coolest thing, but also where you're going to learn the most about what happened to this place.
At some point in your journey in Cryo Archive, you might start wondering if the UESC are there to keep you out or if they're actually there to keep something else in.
Aha. Nice. That looks like it was from the original marathon.
I think the thing that I'm most excited about for Marathon is getting into the hands of our players.
The biggest thing I want people to take away from Marathon is that it still feels amazing. It still
When is
feels
it supposed to
like
come
it
out? March?
has that spark.
It takes all the aspects that I think Bungie is really good at. First-person feel and gunplay, the super deep, crazy sci-fi lore, and it mixes up all those things together in a really amazing PvP package.
Really comes down to every
Bruh,
single
Lars
discipline that's
has
working
been
on
with
the game. The
them
animation
for
has to be good. The sound has to
mad
be good.
long. They
Everything
gotta
has
be
to be
paying
working
my
in
boy
harmony.
That's
decent.
when the controller fades away, the screen fades away, you're just immersed in the world.
That boy been
is
putting
what
in
we're trying to live
pain
up
for
to
Bungie.
with Marathon.
No cap.
It is a mad dash. I'm not gonna front about that. It's a mad dash to the finish, but that's when you got to put in the elbow grease and the extra sweat and blood it takes to get this done.
He didn't know what to say.
Dude, what is this? What is it? 5 people in the extract.
Let's see if they're gonna give Arc Raiders a run for their money. All right, it is March, and it's looking like a cop. So far from what I've seen, I haven't tried it yet. I don't know if they're gonna do an open beta for everybody or not, but if I'm judging it off that video on whether I would buy it, I would buy it to try it. I would. Okay, I would buy it to try it. I believe they said it's gonna be $40. That is a very pivotal month. We'll see. A lot of games are coming out. There's a lot of shit coming out in March. There's a lot of shit scheduled for March. Okay.